Hey guys, well, goddamn, we keep losing shit, and it's all the fucking pandemic. Look, I know the pandemic just devastated the global economy in like every single country, and like has like really destroyed some of the finest, coolest stuff that like civilization created. And unfortunately, today we have another unfortunate loss: the impending death of the Hawaiian special interest company Generation Kikaida. Now, I know for most of you guys, this probably means nothing to you, and most of you probably have never even heard of this company, but I'm pretty well acquainted with them, and I have been since high school, and Generation Kikaida has been very helpful in my life for keeping me up to my knees in 1970s Shotari Shinomori Tokusatsu. Now let me explain to you what they are, and let me explain to you how I came to know them. In 2004, as most people know, Adult Swim aired Kikaida, the animation on TV. Kikaida's TV broadcast hit me right in the heart. It was right around the same time I graduated high school, a time when I was not in the best place financially or mentally, and it's hard to put into words how much this anime just like clicked with me, with the whole sad story about a clinically depressed paranoid android meant to, relate to people, but it related to me. And as I've grown older and wondered the world of a guitar on my back that I can't quite play, maybe I learned something from all that. But anyway, in that weird bit of magical synchronicity, Generation Kikaida rose to prominence. So let me all back that up. In another time, in another place, this time is the 1970s, this place is Hawaii, there was a channel on TV called Kiku TV, and they aired all these classic Japanese toku like Kamen Rider, Ultraman, Kikaida in Hawaii with English subs, so that the good people of Hawaii got to grow up with full access to all the best 1970s tokusatsu and anime shows from Japan in America, with none of the problems that us people in the mainland USA are still having to this day. And somehow right around the 2000s, a big nostalgia wave hit all these people, and they decided they really wanted to watch all these old shows again. So in 2001, Generation Kikaida was established to ride on that nostalgia wave, and their number one original goal was just to get Kikaida back on TV for the old people. Now at first it was pretty much just an official Kikaida fan club, just trying to do their best to get Kikaida back onto public access television, but they accomplished that, and shortly after that they published the first American Kikaida DVD set. And my God, if you've never experienced it, I cannot even begin to put into words how excellent the early episodes of Kikaida are. Half the reason I made my own tokusatsu show, Radio Finger, were just because of the bizarreness and the straight, insane directorial choices made in the early episodes of Kikaida. Like, episode 1 is a train wreck. Episode 2 introduces Hanpei Hattori, who tries to, appease his broken car by, making out with it. And then we get, Dark Destructoid Green Mantis, and Kikaida beats him by, hiding inside his bed. Episode 3 introduces Orange Ant, who breaks into a house of a married couple and, awkwardly explains to them how he has to kill them and why he's doing it as he's doing it. It's really, really, super neurotic. Episode 4 is, Blue Buffalo and a maddening kaiju auction. Episode 5 is Yellow Jaguar, and Yellow Jaguar just has this completely inappropriate tail that pisses fire, and there's all these shots where it just looks like he's pissing on people. And then episode 6, Black Horse waits at the killing fields. Hanpei Hattori dresses like a woman and he races a horse monster in his car and he loses. It is wonderful. I could literally go on all day about how insane and how amazing classic Kikaida is, how it's packed to the brim with action, how it's packed to the brim with weirdness, how it's packed to the brim with insanity, and how it's, quite frankly, one of the greatest artistic achievements of the human race. But anyway, yeah, so since Generation Kikaida was established in 2001 just to bring back the Kikaida reruns, then to put those Kikaida reruns on DVD, that was simple enough. But then it all coalesced into this freaking miracle, because since Adult Swim aired Kikaida the animation, at just the same time, there was suddenly this massive new interest in Kikaida. And people like me who got into the show from Adult Swim, like-minded individuals who knew how awesome 70s Toku could be, bought out all those original Kikaida DVDs because, quite frankly, at that time, it was the best we could get, and it was a tiny little miracle of pure quality. And since those first Kikaida DVDs sold so well, Generation Kikaida kept going. They made promises to license more and more shows to keep themselves relevant. A few years later, we get Kamen Rider 01, which I skipped on because it was very expensive at the time, and everyone said 01 wasn't as good. Then, in 2009, we get Kamen Rider V3. Honestly, probably one of their best acquisitions ever, the first Kamen Rider show available on DVD in the US, and one of my personal favorites. Can't even begin to describe how good Kamen Rider V3 is. And then after that, they got Inazumon. So, gonna level with you guys, I literally just bought Inazumon today upon hearing the news that they are closing. I did not buy Inazumon 10 years ago because everyone tells me that Inazumon is not as good without Inazumon Fresh to finish out the story. But fuck it, this is the best we're going to get now, so I'm going to begrudgingly take it. Also, back in the day when I was a reporter, I briefly interviewed them in 2012. And back in 2012, at the time, things looked very good for these people. They were planning to eventually license Go Ranger, they were planning to eventually license the rest of the show in Kamen Rider, but those dreams never manifested, and eventually original Recipe Kamen Rider got picked up by Shout Factory. So as it would turn out in the historical record, the final DVD release they created was Kikaida Reboot. Now I do own this one, and a lot of people have been bugging me to review this movie. I haven't decided if I will actually do it or not, and I'll just let you guys know why. It's because Kikaida Reboot sucks. I would say Kikaida Reboot is probably the worst Kikaida video thing ever. Worse than the original 70s show. Worse than the anime. Worse than Kikaida 01. Hell, even Mechanical Violator Kikaida is great for its anti-politics, anti-religion message. So I literally gotta tell you guys, if you want to watch anything Kikaida, don't watch Kikaida Reboot. Literally anything else is better. Kikaida Reboot just feels like Kikaida made by people who don't know what Kikaida is and have never watched any of the source material. Anyway, so yeah, back to Generation Kikaida. They had this dream that as long as they kept making money, they would do the good deed of localizing all 1970s classic tokusatsu on DVD and distributing it to the Americas. And that was great because that would mean we'd finally get all of it. And on top of that, in a fun bit of synchronicity, Ban Daisuke, the actor who played Jiro in the 70s Kikaida series, had conveniently retired to Hawaii. So they worked out a deal with him where once a year he would come out and do a commemorative Kikaida convention party where he would play with the kids, play his guitar, and everyone was just super happy to see him. And they did this every year from the year 2000 until 2019 when it all stopped due to the pandemic. Now this year, funny enough, they had one new one right after New Year's. But the new one was sadly marked as the last one ever. Oh God. Man, look, I've never gone to Hawaii, but I would have gone to Hawaii just to see that, because Hawaii also has the last Anna Millers, and, fuck the pandemic. I don't know how it happened, but apparently, somehow the pandemic bankrupted Generation Kikaida. I'm not sure how, I'm not sure why, but they're done and it's sad. As of today, they have 1 month left on their office lease. They're going to keep their online DVD and t-shirt store open to June, but then that's it. The legend of Kikaida, the dream of preserving classic tokusatsu in America, will be finally snuffed out by pure pandemic economic bullshit. Now, optimistically, maybe another media company will pick these sets up and republish them a little bit cheaper on Blu-ray or whatever. And I must point out that if you haven't bought them, their Kikaida and their Kamen Rider V3 sets are utterly perfect collector's editions. Not only did they do a perfect job transferring the old episodes, but they also have all the extras perfect. They have all the goofy shit that you would normally expect in a standard American DVD release. And that's a big deal because most Japanese import DVDs, especially from the 70s, they don't usually have this kind of stuff. So, look guys, if you ever wanted to experience classic Kikaida or classic Kamen Rider V3, just buy these DVDs right now because they're about to become ultra rare collector's items after Generation Kikaida goes under in a month. And the shows are so worth it for the great mix of memes, serious concepts, rage. Anyway, this is another horrible pandemic closer that has just shocked me to my core because once again, I can't do anything about it. But yeah, I bought those Inazumon DVDs as one final show of support for a company that's done a lot for me. And if they were available, I probably would have bought Kikaida 01 too, but they already sold out of those. Anyway, yeah, GenerationKikaida.com. Get your Kikaida t-shirts, get your Kikaida merch. Kikaida, man. He was a robot. And he was sad. Alright, I'm me and Buster Green, and I once played a guitar in Japan because I thought I was Kikaida. Later.